Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fam that is tapping in at this very moment. I hope everybody's doing great on this beautiful Sunday. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Join the iTrek fam if you're not already a part of the fam. Smash that hype button too, man. That's just been going crazy lately. Now let's not even waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it.
1 year ago, Kanye West made history in China, selling out 42,000 tickets in minutes, in a place that banned artists like Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber. China is one of the toughest countries on earth for Western artists. Every performer gets vetted by the government, and if you've said or done anything wrong, you're out. But Ye actually has a strong bond with China. Back in 1987, when he was just 10 years old, he lived in Nanjing with his mom while she taught at the local university. Then in 2008, he performed in Shanghai during his Glow in the Dark tour, his first show ever in the country. Fast forward to 2024, and Ye's return looked impossible. His controversies in the West, combined with China's heavy censorship, made approval seem out of the question. But China's economy was slumping, and the city of Haikou saw an opportunity. If they could land Ye, they could turn his concert into an economic event. And it worked. The 42,000 tickets sold out instantly, bringing in $7.2 million in ticket sales. It was so popular, they asked Kanye to do a show the next week. And again, it sold out immediately. But it didn't stop there. The two shows generated over $80 million in tourism revenue for the city as fans flew in from all over China to see him. And most Americans won't understand how rare this is. Western artists almost never get approved, but somehow one of the most controversial artists of all time, Kanye West, did. And not only did he sell out back-to-back stadiums, but he turned a concert into one of the biggest economic boosts China had all year.
And people are still wondering why Kanye is goated. There you go. Perfect example right there.
I was so high like a pelican's back. Then I saw this video. Apparently, there's some kind of, I don't know what that is, some kind of centrifugal device. Look at that.
Wow.
Like is that a solar panel?
That's a drone.
Yeah.
So clearly I'm not the only one confused about that bird having a solar panel in his back. I mean, the craziest thing I've seen in a while.
This video, these people are trapped in their house because of a storm that's going on outside, and this looks like their house is literally caught in the middle of a tornado. Outside of the windows, you cannot see anything. Everything is grayed out, blacked out. Electricity is shut off. The winds are gusting. You can hear everything, and the rain is smacking against the walls. Everything is just being torn apart outside, and in the middle of it, these people just so happen to grab their phone and record everything. What would you do in this situation if you were caught up in this? It looks like they're being transported to the Wizard of Oz or something like that. This is insane. Like, what could you even do in this situation? Just to wait it out or just try and hide and cover the best you can? People are wondering what happened to the owners and if they're okay and what happened with the damages, but there's no conclusion video after this and they don't show the damages after, so we don't know. We can only hope the family made it out okay and that there wasn't too bad of damages. This just looks like you were being thrown into a portal or something, but it's just not a portal you want to be in. It looks like they're being transported underwater. It literally looks like the house was thrown into an ocean or a tsunami. It just looks like it's just submerged.
So the question is, like, why should you care about it? And the answer is you should care about it because if everything is truly mathematical, like if the math is at the bottom of the universe, I can imagine nothing except for that being a simulation hypothesis. We live in a video game, we live in some kind of simulation that's programmed by aliens or whatever else, and I think you can choose to believe that.
It's hypocritical to live in a society that glorifies alcohol on the one hand and that demonizes psychedelics on the other. This is nuts.
Why do you think that is, though?
Well, I think it's pretty clear that psychedelics lead people to ask questions about the prevailing reality. It's as simple as that. And I think those in power knew that long ago. And they knew that psychedelics represented a danger to the established order of things, not to the individuals taking the psychedelics, but to the established order of things, that people couldn't be so easily brainwashed, that they'd start to think for themselves, make decisions for themselves, would start to question government behavior and the behavior of big corporations and the behavior of the big religions too. Yeah, all of these would be questioned from people who'd had deep experiences with psychedelics. So the decision was made, let's wage a propaganda war against psychedelics. Let's make people believe that these are really deadly, harmful things when in fact they're not, you know.
Yeah. Now that's what I like to call the great debate, because many people do say psychedelics make you question everything. But at the same time, many people say that alcohol leads you to tell the truth, the true definition of liquid courage. but let me know your opinion on that subject.
Am I the only one who finds it really funny that the symbol for the devil in a lot of cultures is a goat? Like someone looked at a goat and was like, "You sketchy bastard. There's evil afoot."
I don't know if you've ever had the chance to stare a goat in the eyes, but the eyes of a goat are pretty creepy. It definitely makes you think there's something else going on.
Sharp, straight edges are unlike the rounded or irregular shapes we normally associate with natural phenomena like clouds or moonlight reflections. Online, theories quickly spread. Some argue it's a glitch in the simulation, pointing to the idea that our reality might be little more than a programmed construct. Others suggest it could be yet another example of Project Bluebeam, the conspiracy theory claiming governments plan to use advanced holograms to stage apocalyptic events. Whether optical illusion, classified tech, or something more otherworldly, the square light has viewers debating what exactly they're seeing.
The world's most stubborn person was the last thing standing in the way of a 38 billion yuan project, and to say their plan backfired would be an understatement. Turns out, testing the same contractors that will build a highway around a home or put a train through a literal building isn't a great idea. China was building a high-speed railway and was almost done with it until they ran into this house. The government successfully bought everyone else out, and this was the final home needing to be demolished. So the owner quoted a price equivalent to $14,000 per square meter. And every time the government declined, the owner raised the price. So the builders made the owner's life miserable and built directly up to the house until they finally agreed to sell at a price the government thought was fair.
What would I need to do if I want to get Alzheimer's or shorten my life as quickly as possible?
To get Alzheimer's. Okay, you're right. No one's ever asked me that question, but I can give you a 5-step program to getting Alzheimer's. Why don't we do that?
Let's do it, yeah.
And you'll be surprised to hear that your genetics actually not in my 5 steps. Right. Believe it or not. Okay, because I really believe that even if you are genetically susceptible to Alzheimer's, the chance of you being able to prevent it completely is very, very high. So I think we need to move on from my mother had it, my family members had it, so I'm destined to have it. That is absolutely not the case. Okay. So the 5 steps to getting Alzheimer's starts in childhood, believe it or not. Play football, American football, or, rugby, a sport that you're hitting your head over and over again at high velocities, right? That constant trauma, and not necessarily getting concussions, the trauma of hitting your head over and over again as a child and then into high school and beyond definitely sets you up for a situation where your chance of having dementia later on in life is greatly increased. Okay. Many people take that even into adulthood, playing professional sports, even riding a motorcycle and falling off, riding mountain biking and falling off and hitting your head. The amount of trauma that builds up over multiple episodes of hitting your head sets your brain up to have not just Alzheimer's, but also Parkinson's later on in life.
What if I told you that near-death experiences, reincarnation, and outer-body experiences are pointing to the exact same thing? That consciousness might not be produced in our brain, but rather fundamental to our reality. Dr. Cazzolino, a professor at the University of Virginia, says that these 3 things aren't separate mysteries, but rather they're overlapping evidence about one deeper truth of consciousness that science is still trying to prove. In an interview, he says that research at the University of Virginia shows over 2,000 documented cases of children remembering their past lives, where some even carry strange birthmarks matching the fatal wounds of the person they claim they were. And in cases of outer body and near-death experiencers, they both say the same thing, often saying that I chose this life before I was born, and that death was a return to home, another reality that they truly belong to. Despite the language and the cultures being completely different, the overlapping patterns are striking. And Dr. Cazzolino uses the analogy of artificial intelligence. Just like how it learns from millions of different prompts and interactions, consciousness might learn through us, where every human life is like a probe, feeding the experiences back to a larger source of intelligence, where every joy, trauma, and lesson helps the system learn and grow. And if this is true, then nothing that you ever think, feel, or do is wasted.
This is crazy. Can someone explain to me how you can see this guy when you zoom in with the video camera, but then when you zoom out, that pillar is blocking the way? What is it about the zooming in that makes that pillar go away? It doesn't make any sense.
Now that is pretty interesting, but clearly that zoom just got so wide that that middle divider just kept shrinking.
A guy fell off a ladder, I think it was somewhere in the UK, and a 15 centimeter nail went through his boot. Writhing in pain. They had to put him on morphine just to get him to calm down. Brought him into the x-ray. They x-rayed the boot. Went right between his toes.
No shit.
Went right between his toes. Didn't puncture his foot at all. They needed to sedate this guy because of the pain he was the pain that he was perceiving.
Because of what he thought happened.
Because of what he thought happened.
That is bananas.
Oh yeah, well documented. So here, what do we have so far? We have pain in the presence of no tissue damage.
Didn't even cut him. Nothing.
But you know what? That just proves how good our mind is at creating scenarios that never happened.
Social media may be solving this case faster than the FBI. They are now saying that David had a song called Celeste. David is a famous singer, and there was a 15-year-old dead girl that was found in his car. Now, the girl's name is Celeste Hernandez. The song leaked is called Celeste, and it talks about wanting to make her his Valentine and also making her suicidal. He also had a song called Romantic Homicide, which is literally him talking about killing someone that he's in love with. Now, there's another picture that surfaced on social media, and after research, people located that he is in Lake Elsinore. That's exactly where she is from. That exact location is 0.3 miles away from where she used to live, which is a 6-minute walk. Also leaked Discord messages and also pictures of them together. You can't see her full face, but you can see the date. It is 2023. If it is her, she would be about 12 to 13 years old in this picture, and he would be about 17 or 18 years old. They post a picture and he responds, "You are a Fed." It kind of adds up because she did go missing in 2024 when she was 13 years old, and she was recently now found dead in his car. They both have matching tattoos, and there's a lot of things adding up, and it's not looking good for him.
Now, if you don't know who that David guy is, don't worry. All you need to know is that he's cooked. Like, he was on the verge of getting to that point where everybody was going to know who he was. He was literally on tour before they found that body in the back of his car. So it's pretty wild how people can reach these pinnacles, but those past decisions, man, they will catch up with you, especially if they're as ugly as his decisions, right? It's crazy.
I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear. I killed you. So it's not like the thought of her is gone by itself was something that she did. It was something that I decided to do. And I killed her in the back of my mind. It's really more of a figurative I killed you, especially in the back of my mind. I try to stress that in the back of my mind. That's why I say it so loud. In the back of my mind, you died. In the back of my mind, I killed you. So it's all in the mind because that's the most secure place you can be is in your mind. So if you can expel that thought from your mind, then everything else will just come together.
Stop the cap.
Deadly kissing bug is spreading its disease in several U.S. states, and it's spread through the bug's feces. If the kissing bug's droppings get into a person's body, it can infect them with what's known as Chagas disease. Here's what to know. According to the CDC, triatomine or kissing bugs carry a parasite that they can transfer to animals and to humans. They're called kissing bugs because they often bite people around the mouth area. They pass the parasite in their droppings after biting a person or an animal. Now, the CDC says people might scratch or rub bug feces into a bite wound into their eyes or their mouth without even realizing it, and that allows the parasite to enter their body. Locally acquired human cases have been reported in 8 states, most notably Texas, including these. It was already an endemic in 21 countries and may become an endemic here in the United States. According to the CDC, the infection doesn't transfer from human to human, but if a kissing bug infects you, you may develop fever, you may feel tired, body aches, headache, rash, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, and get this, some may even experience symptoms for years or a lifetime, which is known as the chronic phase of infection and can include heart and digestive issues. And the condition can be life-threatening. That's according to the CDC. There is no vaccine for Chagas disease, so you should protect yourself by staying in well-built places if you're traveling, use insecticides and bug spray, wear clothing that covers your skin, and by not eating raw fruits and vegetables since the infection can spread by contaminated food.
wildest part about that insect is that it can cause a lifetime of problems. We're not talking about just like a week or two. No. You're done. You're cooked.
Y'all, is them the damn kissing bugs? What the Oh my God. Is them bugs? I just seen about it on TikTok last night. They everywhere. They coming out of the grass. Is them the kissing bugs, y'all? Oh my God, we're gonna die. Jesus help.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions.
There is an AI R&B artist who just signed a multi-million-dollar deal and has a top 5 R&B album, and the person is doing none of the work. I think you guys think that AI can just be the cover for something, which some people can use. They can make an AI cover. AI can also make the entire fucking song. It can sing the entire song. It can make the entire beat. You can have a song that's one type of song and say, AI, make this into a country song. And it'll literally rewrite, re-sing in a country voice and redo the entire thing. And they don't have to credit anyone. This is so beyond out of our control. And nothing and no one on earth will ever be able to justify AI to me, especially not fucking AI in the creative arts, in which people have worked hard for, trained for, slept on the floor for, fucking got injuries for, worked for their entire lives. I'm sorry. I don't respect it. Fuck.
Now, if you don't know who that is, that's Kehlani. She's been in the music business literally her whole life, right? Nick Cannon brought her into the game, raised her up. She actually has a following, so she'll be all right. But if you're just getting into the game and you're going up against AI, yeah, you definitely have something to worry about. And you can see by her body language, hand on the head. She's going through the motions. She tells you about what she went through to get to where she's at. You know, AI is coming for everybody in that way, you know, in that aspect. But I think talent in whatever field you're in will carry you through. I don't think it should be too stressed about, you know, because in her case, she can actually sing. And she actually has a fan base, a crowd, so she'll be good. But, yeah, it's something to keep your eye on.
First of all, the ancient Egyptians discovered the earth was a sphere 2,600 years ago. Actually, let me rephrase what I said. I said they discovered the earth was a sphere. They proved the earth was a sphere. Nobody could prove it until the ancient Egyptians sent a fleet of ships around Africa, and they completely circumnavigated Africa. And what they noticed 2,600 years ago is as they were traveling south, the sun's position moved from being in the southern sky directly overhead to the northern sky. And the constellations changed to constellations they'd never seen before. And then as they came around the southern tip of Africa and started heading north, the sun slowly moved from the northern sky or directly overhead back to the southern sky, and their old constellations returned. Anyway, there's literally only one shape that could accommodate that experience. The earth is clearly a sphere. Done.
This was the world's first experiment that proved traffic jams happen purely because of human behavior, with no obvious reason. If you're stuck in traffic, you might assume there's an accident ahead, but sometimes there's nothing at all. It happens when one driver brakes suddenly, causing the car behind to react and the chain continues. Each driver brakes a little more than the last, creating a ripple effect that travels backward through the traffic, causing a jam out of nowhere. This strange phenomenon is called a phantom traffic jam, and this Japanese experiment perfectly demonstrates it. At first, everything runs smoothly, but over time, tiny variations in speed and spacing start to build up. One car slows down just a little, then another follows, and gradually a wave of stop-and-go traffic begins to form. There's no obstruction, no external trigger, just human reaction causing a traffic jam out of thin air.
Now, to all my iTrack fam that are in New York and in LA, this explains why the traffic is the way it is. You know, it could just be all kinds of traffic. We're talking about hours of traffic for nothing, and that explains it.
These are entities that are here on this earth, that have been on this earth, that who knows how long, and that we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here and they're in these deep water areas, And that's why, I mean, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. Now, we have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas. And so to me, it just it creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings and that there's these underwater craft they're chasing that are doing hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we've got is something that does maybe just a little under 40 miles an hour. So I got a lot of questions about that stuff, and I mean,
that's how you know that you're a psychopath.
That's a psychopath.
So if you're a psychopath, let's say you're probably in an apartment building because you're more attracted to the center of major cities where you can blend in. You're thinking, you know what? I really want fish tacos. I want fish tacos. That's really going to hit the spot right now. You get down to street level, you start walking, and you walk by this car accident that just happened a few seconds ago. This mom is maybe holding maybe a 4-year-old baby that may have made it, maybe not. She's screaming. And as you're looking at it, you take a minute and go, yeah, definitely fish tacos. And you turn and you go pick up your food. And you get home at the end of the night, and you're getting ready for bed, and you go in front of the bathroom mirror, and you find yourself standing in front of that mirror going like this, practicing all of the faces that you saw on the street from that day.
Wow.
That's how you know that you're a psychopath.
I've been telling everybody how aliens can cloak themselves with their uniforms that they wear. You have tall ones, you have short ones. Now you're going to see a video coming here of the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. This is why I tell you, those ghost hunters are not chasing ghosts. They're chasing aliens that are cloaked. The little white spheres you see in ghost hunting videos, those are not spirits. Those are microspheres that are spying on us. They can go right through the walls, record everything we're doing, take biometric scans of us, see what we have diseases, what kind of food problems we might be having, how it's affecting our bodies. There's all kinds of things that we know in the government, what those are. But ghost hunters really like to think they're chasing ghosts. This video is going to change your mind. When I tell you aliens can cloak themselves, like their ships they cloak, check this out.
For a while now, I've been putting out a trail cam at night, hoping to catch some wildlife around camp while we're sleeping. And with my granddaughter, who just loves wildlife. How cool could it be if I could show her some night pictures of what's walking around at night while we're sleeping? Now, I must admit, I haven't had any luck so far. I've put out the camera many times and never captured any footage. But tonight was different.
Did you read that study coming out of Germany about thoughts and migraines? If you didn't, this is really interesting. Different types of thoughts have different weight. If it's a big creative thought, it's heavy. If it's a deeply negative thought, it's even heavier. And that's where headaches and migraines come from. So if you don't want to get bad headaches or bad migraines, have lighter thoughts. Thoughts that won't weigh your brain down so much that it compresses into your skull. Don't think too much and your head will feel fine. And that's just science.
Well, how do I create lighter thoughts, you ask? Well, I think one remedy is acceptance. You know, you just got fired on your day off, accept it, let it go. Somebody just treated you badly, accept it and let it go. Yeah, I think that's one remedy. There's a few different remedies. If you have one, definitely let me know down in the comments.
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the news yet or not, but a bunch of people are getting these mystery seed packets in the mail from China. I've gotten 5 of them in the mail so far. I'm going to show you guys what they look like in just a second. Anyways, yeah, people are getting these and they're not even ordering them. And if you do get them, you're supposed to turn them into the animal plant service something because they're unidentified and nobody knows what they are. You're not supposed to plant them. You're not supposed to throw them away. You're not supposed to throw them in the woods because they'll grow their seeds. I'm sure you guys have already seen this, but in case you haven't, you're supposed to call the Department of Agriculture or the plant something, turn them in. I, for legal purposes, did not know this, and I planted all of mine, and some of them are already growing, and I'm kind of scared, and I'm going to show you what they look like. You're not even supposed to touch them because nobody knows what they are, but here's some of them. What is that? They look like cricket legs. Here's all of the ones I've planted so far. This one in particular is literally scaring me, giving me nightmares. It's only been a day and this is what's growing. I don't know what I should do. This is everything that happened on the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. Scientists just discovered a massive ocean that's beneath the Earth's surface, bigger than all the seas above land. They were recording waves and they found out that the waves were being recorded under the surface too, which is how they found this ocean. There's a whole video on my page if you want to go look. Scientists finally just revealed what the bizarre mermaid that was discovered in 1906 actually is. So this artifact was found obviously in 1906 and nobody's been able to figure out what it actually is, but it was told to be a mermaid. They just found out that it's actually different pieces of different animals just conjuncted together. And so they're going to do some scanning and see what all animals are put in together to make this mermaid. It's fake. Scientists explain why you can't ever see stars outside a plane window while you're flying. There's two reasons why you can't see stars while you're on a plane. One of them is because of light pollution under you, and the other is because the moon is too bright. There's a lot of news today about scientists, but scientists are concerned that California's supervolcano might erupt due to over 2,000 earthquakes in recent years. A lot of these earthquakes haven't been big enough for you to actually feel them, but there's a whole video on my page about this if you want to go look. Scientists created a device that lets you play back your dreams. This one's really cool. Basically, it'll record your sleep, and then whenever you wake up, you can watch your dreams like a movie. Self-checkout machines across the US are reportedly beginning to ask for tips. A lot of people are upset about this because why would a self-checkout machine do that if you're the one doing the work? I do these daily roundups every...
Did you know Hugh Laurie gets free Burger King? And he actually got it kind of by accident? During an interview, he just made an off-the-cuff comment about one of the great things of being a celebrity is free Burger King. He didn't actually get free Burger King at the time, but the fast food chain jumped on this, and they ended up giving him a crown card for free Burger King.
Oh, is that how that works? Well, if that's the case, you know, you guys should know I get free in and out. Like, you know, double doubles, all that good stuff. I get it for free.
Did you know that Robin Williams once got so mad with Disney that they had to send him a $1 million Picasso painting as a peace offering? This all happened when he voiced the genie in Aladdin. Instead of his usual $8 million, he settled for only $75,000 under one condition. They could not use his name or his image in the marketing, and the character of the genie could only take up 25% of the ad space. Why? Because Robin Williams had a movie called Toys coming out just about a month later. But Disney broke the deal. They put Genie all over the posters and commercials and fast food toys, and Robin Williams was furious. But after Disney broke the contract, they sent him that Picasso painting as an apology. I know it's gone up since then, but it was worth $1 million at the time. Robin got it, said he found it very boring and didn't fit in with his home decor. The fallout resulted in the voice of Homer Simpson taking over for the genie in the sequel, but Robin Williams did eventually return for the third movie. He even joked about it later and said, "You realize when you work for Disney why the mouse only has 4 fingers? It's because he can't pick up a check."
I am firmly convinced that Jesus never talked about himself as God. We have the first 3 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Most scholars today continue to think that Matthew and Luke had access to some other written source of information that they call Q. Matthew has some materials not found in Mark or Luke, so they say, well, that came from some other sources, and Luke has some material not found in Mark and Luke, so that's other sources. Okay, so you have Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but you also have Q and M, Matthew's special sources, and L, Luke's special sources. If you look at all of that material, Matthew, Mark, Luke, Q, M, and L, all of our earliest sources, where Jesus starts calling himself God is the Gospel of John, our last source. It seems to me completely implausible that 6 authors would describe the sayings of Jesus, knowing that he called himself God, and neglect to mention that part. Like, that bit just isn't important enough to bring up. So I think it's completely implausible.
Quantum physics actually proves manifestation works, and here's how. The superposition principle says that a quantum system exists in all possible states at once, until observation collapses it into one. An observation is energy, like your focus, your thought, your intention. That's manifestation in action. And here's what's wild. Studies show athletes can train their bodies just by using their minds. Basketball players who only visualized free throws improved almost as much as those who practiced on the court. Their muscles actually fired in the same patterns. That means when you focus with intention and emotional energy, your body, your energy, and the universe are already responding as though it's real. And spirit is right there, amplifying that state that you're choosing with your focus. If this is resonating with you, follow for more.
You know what? And I wonder if that's part of the reason why we've been seeing a lot of pilots trying to fly planes drunk lately, right?
You can only be as famous as your nervous system allows.
Your nervous system is sabotaged by your creative ego because it prefers the illusion of control over your creative ambition or success. This is you. The goldfish bowl is your comfort zone. Your nervous system is very regulated when you are in your comfort zone. But your creative ambition means you want to leave the goldfish bowl and go into the ocean. So your creative ego sabotages you to keep you stuck and small, and it does this by using limiting beliefs. It tells you you're not good enough. It tells you you're going to burn out. You're going to be overwhelmed. That everyone's going to discover that really you're a fraud. And these are all the limiting beliefs it does to keep you small and stuck in your goldfish bowl. The problem is that you have no purpose in here. You have no fulfillment. You're actually creatively rotting away, and you know this. And every time you try and get out of the goldfish bowl, your creative ego sabotages you with limiting beliefs. So how do you get over this? Well, in Eastern philosophy, Taoism, Buddhism, they know that the ego is just an illusion. So you have to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. That is awareness. And that means although you will still get the thoughts, you no longer believe them. The second thing is you need a creative purpose. You have to distill your pain, your tragedy, your joy, articulate your thoughts, and through the medium of your creativity, help others, i.e. your audience, feel seen and heard. Because when you make them feel seen and heard, you will feel seen and heard, and that makes you feel good. Now, this gives you the happiness trifecta, as neuroscientists calls it, which means you get oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. This regulates your nervous system, which means that you can grow, you can expand your goldfish bowl incrementally over a period of time, because to go from the goldfish bowl into the ocean is too big a leap, right? You need to be able to do it incrementally. So this is what you do. The more people that you help, the more you will experience the happiness trifecta, the more this will regulate your nervous system, and the more you can grow. And this means that a creative purpose gives you a creative resilience, and that's what it's all about.
And to piggyback off that, get around some people that see the greatness in you. Because if you're not around people that see the greatness in you, you're probably around some people that want to keep you small and keep you in a smaller fishbowl.
Interviewed this blind girl one time, right? And we're just learning about what it's like to be blind and some of like the different stuff. And she talked a lot about animals and like getting to spend time with animals and the feelings you get. Mm-hmm. And she says that she doesn't get any feeling from a snake. Like there's no energy that she gets.
Really?
And that's when I was like, blind don't even like a snake. I don't like a snake.
Yeah. Whatever is going to make you feel good in your life is also inevitably going to make you feel bad, right? So like the person you marry is the person you end up fighting over. And the house you save up for is the house that you're going to have to do a bunch of repairs on. And the dream job that you go after is the job that you end up stressing over. Like everything good has an inherent sacrifice to it. You can't have the pleasant without the pain. And I just feel like everybody today wants to have it one way and not the other. In other words, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Or as I like to say, take the bitter with the sweet.
I read something the other day that was, you only overthink when you go against your intuition.
Ooh.
I thought about it.
Beautiful.
And it's true for me.
Yeah. It is, yeah. If
you know, when you're following the light and the intuition and the tug, it doesn't even have to make sense, but you're like, yes, this is what I have to do. It's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's almost like, a little serenity.
Yeah.
And all the times I overthink, it's because I know deep down it's not the right thing.
Yeah, like you're doing something against your nature.
Hey, she just spoke truth. When you're following your gut, life generally moves like this because you know. Now, once you move out of that know and out of that gut feeling, life is kind of like stagnant. You're guessing a lot. Yeah, she definitely dropped the gem on that one.
I saw Gary Vee say something. I hope he's wrong. He's been pretty good at predicting trends, but he said, I think my grandkids are going to marry robotic female. People in Japan already have sex with sex dolls. That's been big in Japan for 20 years. Imagine when the woman talks to you. These are species disruptors.
Within 5 years, having like drone security systems that protect and find and neutralize a threat.
You see the Tesla robot videos I have on my phone.
The humanoids, the Optimus.
This isn't 5 years away. This is fucking now. Wow. He's getting these things fucking dialed in, and you're right.
The future
is drones, the robots, all that shit is coming. Flying drones around when you're about to publicly speak is probably the best idea ever, and it's simple. Yeah. And everybody in this room can fly a fucking drone.
That is definitely going to be a game changer, but you got to look at everything in a full spectrum. So people won't be robbing your house. They're going to send robots to do it, right? So it'll be robots against robots, which might be entertaining, but very dangerous.
This guy's sister took what she thought was a cute live picture of their cat
But when they took another look at it, they saw this.
I'm home right now, completely alone besides the cat, and I just heard a full door open upstairs. And it reminded me of this video of the cat. It's actually a live photo, and I turned up the exposure here so you can see it better, but that's like a person.
A shadowy figure dashes across the doorway, and when you slow it down, you can see just how eerily the figure moves. Now, at the time she took the picture, she wasn't home alone, but she didn't see anyone while taking it, and the figure's silhouette, along with the way it moves, doesn't match anyone living in the house. So is it possible she captured a really elusive intruder, or did she somehow take a picture of something that's usually unseen?
Oh yeah, she was in the middle of a home invasion. I'm not sure if she was aware or not, but that was definitely somebody in there to rob her.
One of our best algorithms that we created with Harvard is can predict your date of death within 3 years at a 92% accuracy. Ultimately, what we do is we give you an age for your body. That is the main thing. We also can give you the age for different organ systems. So we can tell you how your brain is aging versus your lungs versus your kidneys. We also tell you how fast you're aging right now, almost like a speedometer of aging. And so all of these things give us essentially the way to predict how you're going to be aging and how long your life is. A lot of people immediately go to, hey, do I want to know this information? But the good news is it's also changeable. It really empowers you to make the necessary lifestyle changes, whether it's drugs and medication, social experiences, supplements, diet, nutrition, all of these things impact this overall aging. Now that we have an objective way to measure it, trying to figure out what is the biggest mover.
The Mayo Clinic did a study in 2017. They took 286 patients with various diagnoses, and they took the first diagnosis and then they had a second doctor do a diagnosis. Only 12% of the time did they match. That means 88% of the time, the first diagnosis and the second were different. As a result, the Mayo Clinic says you should always get a second opinion, and they believe getting a second, even a third one, refines the diagnosis and makes it better because everyone's working through their perceptions. It's not, we think of medicine as like black and white, it's right or it's wrong. And it's a lot of art in medicine. And people don't realize that.
And you know what? There were no lies detected there. A lot of doctors nowadays in 2025 are using ChatGPT and Google to kind of decipher what's going on with you. So he definitely wasn't lying. Get a second and third opinion about whatever you got going on for a fact.
The video shows an employee working behind the bar of the restaurant, an establishment housed in a building dating back to the early 1900s, when a large frame suddenly flies off the wall. As it falls, it knocks down several nearby items, creating a clattering mess. According to the OP, staff and guests alike have previously reported odd experiences in the building.
You can go from failure to success, but you can't go from excuses to success. You can't do it. It's not possible. So don't even try it. When I see a person making excuses, I want to walk in their life, say, my name is John, I'm your friend. Let me explain something to you. That's a dead-end street. You can't excuse your way out.
Right.
You can adjust your way out. I mean, like failing forward is a good miss.
Yep.
Because I failed, but I learned something.
And I'm farther forward than
I'm a little further down the road. I didn't get there.
You know what's interesting? You can make a small mistake and make it a bad miss because you make excuses.
That's exactly.
You could make what looks like a catastrophic mistake and go, there's something good here.
Yep. Well, you never know whether it's a good or a bad miss based on the failure. You know it's a good miss or a bad miss based on the adjustment. You follow what I'm saying? Yep.
In Haymarket, Virginia, apparently there's this ordinance that everybody in their city has to buy one of these town stickers. It's literally just a sticker. And he said he's going to start initiating all his officers to go around patrolling and finding all the cars who do not buy these stickers. And if you don't buy them, he's going to be issuing citations and fines, which, if you don't pay those fines, are going to be issuing bench warrants, which then eventually you'll go to jail for not buying a sticker. And what do these stickers do? Nothing. They're just there because the city wants to initiate a mandate and force a product onto the people, a virtual tax of nothing.
Hey guys, it's Chief Lands with the Town of Haymarket Police Department. Today I want to talk to my residents, the residents that live in the town of Haymarket. If you live within the limits, you are required to have a town decal on your vehicle. The police department has recently been tasked with enforcing this ordinance. You can get them at Town Hall Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. They are $15 per vehicle. The reason why I'm talking to you is You're going to see my officers out in the neighborhoods, and they're going to be enforcing this. You may receive a parking citation with the box checked that said you do not have a town decal. If you don't do that within 2 weeks of receiving the summons, then we may take other corrective actions against you.
Sounds like they're trying to scrape together every nickel and dime that they can get. Talking about $15 stickers. Jeez.
That's why you got to be careful what you think about, because if you think about the past over and over again, you're re-traumatizing yourself every time you think about it. Your body thinks you're going through that situation again and again and again. You went through the experience once, it was over for all eternity, but you kept the experience alive in your imagination. We're doing that all the time.
Exactly 8 days, everyone in America will be able to see this eclipse called the Ring of Fire, and you will not see it again for 23 years. The best view of this eclipse will be right here along this green line or in any of those yellow states. If you don't live in those states, click this button right here to get a reminder to go out and look at the eclipse or to come to my live stream, because I live in Texas where I'm going to see an almost perfect Ring of Fire. However, the farther you are away from this black line, the harder it's going to be to see a total annular eclipse. Right now, if you're in that 10 to 20% region, you're only going to see a little bit of the sun covered, whereas states like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico will see almost a perfect Ring of Fire. For states that are in that path of totality, this is what your eclipse is going to look like. And this is going to happen for about 3 hours. It's starting at about 9 o'clock Pacific time in Oregon and ending at about 12:30 Central Time in Texas. So again, if you live in one of those states where you don't think you'll get to see something like this, click on this reminder right there so you know to go out and look for it, or come to my live stream where I will almost see a perfect Ring of Fire just like this.
A blind quarterback, but has dreams of one day making it to the NFL. Jason Bracey lost his eyesight at 7 years old, and at 13, he asked his dad if he could try out for football. His father told him, unfortunately, that's not going to work out. So behind his dad's back, Jason became his own agent and started calling local coaches, asking to try out, and landed a spot on a team. They weren't sure how it would work at first, but devised a plan that led them to a lot of victories. His dad sits on the sideline with a walkie-talkie that transmits right into Jason's helmet. So he's telling him where to run if someone's coming for him and when to throw a pass. And Jason has spent countless hours memorizing every single play so he knows exactly where each player should be.
Now, you know you're wrong for that. You want to put a blind player on a football team, and a kid at that. You're wrong. You're dead wrong.
The place where ships and planes disappear. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is located in the Sargasso Sea, a triangle formed by Bermuda Islands, Miami, and San Juan. How many mystical and mysterious stories do you know about this place? The most famous incidents, like the disappearance of 5 U.S. planes in 1945, they were on a training mission and simply disappearance without a trace. The disappearance of a plane carrying 32 people to Miami. The disappearance of a huge cargo ship with a crew of 300. Nearly about 100 mysterious accidents in the 20th century. But many of them are not really credible and have no official confirmation. There are many theories that try to explain this phenomenon, such as the decay of methane hydrate at the bottom of the ocean, which forms large bubbles and sinks ships, weather phenomena in the form of powerful hurricanes, or even aliens. But let's do some math. If we take a map and plot every known plane and shipwreck for 100 years, we can see that the incidents in the Bermuda Triangle are not out of the normal and nothing extraordinary.
Do you believe is there a God? How does it work?
Yeah, we believe in one God. Okay, so voodoo is monotheistic. That is definitely a big misconception. Okay, a lot of people think that we worship hundreds of gods. I've even had people ask me if we worship chickens or goats. Okay, they ask me crazy stuff like this. Okay, well, in voodoo, you have one God and many different spirits. We call those spirits Orishas or Loas, but we understand the whole time those spirits aren't God. They're more or less like God's helpers or messengers, if you will.
Okay, so the dark web itself isn't a marketplace like what you're thinking. Right? So the black market or whatever you want to call it, once you're connected to the dark web Tor, the onion router, what I was explaining before, you still need to know where to go to visit these horrible websites. And they're like, imagine a very long string of letters and numbers, and the website, instead of .com, it'd be .onion. You can't visit those websites in a regular browser. You have to do that while you're connected to the Onion router, which you could download at the TOR's website. And then you could go to a thing called like the Hidden Wiki, And the hidden wiki will show you all different categories of these websites with the link to them. And there's marketplaces, there's horrible things on there, like you said, for kids, and even like murder for hire. There's counterfeit money, there's fake IDs. There are all kinds of different websites that do horrible things.
What is the Onion Router?
So the Onion Router is a tool, an open source project that was created to anonymize your traffic on the internet. And it decentralizes, I believe decentralized would be the word for it, your internet traffic. It keeps you anonymous beyond a VPN. I would still recommend that you use a virtual private network on top of Tor if you want to be anonymous, but it's just a layer of security that's free, and it's like, for example, let's say you use Comcast for your internet service provider. They could see that you're using Tor, but they can't see what you're looking at.
You ever see this thing in person? Run. This is a cassowary, and they're known as the most dangerous bird in the world. They're found in Australia, and they are super aggressive. Not to mention, it's a big bird, but they fight like a little bird. They fight like a chicken. They'll jump up and kick you with both feet at the same time. And the worst part is this is what they're kicking you with. 3-inch razor-sharp claws. Those look like the feet of a velociraptor. It will make your insides become your outsides. Do not mess with this oversized chicken.
ICE just spent $3 million on a device that can unlock your iPhone. It's a phone hacking tool called GrayKey, and a new government contract just confirmed ICE is using it. Here's how it works. They seize a phone, plug it into this box, and it brute forces the passcode, bypassing the normal security lockouts. Once they're in, they can extract everything. Your private messages, your photos, your location history, your contacts, everything. Last year, ICE spent $5 million on this technology. This $3 million is just their latest purchase. Your phone holds your entire life, and the government just bought the key.
Here's how rich the first 5 American Idol winners are 20 years later. Last place is Fantasia Barrino, absolute flop of a career. Somehow she has less money now than she did after winning the show. She won $1 million and she only has $500,000 now. Fourth place we have Taylor Hicks. I don't think anybody in the world could name one of this guy's songs. Nobody gave him a second thought after he won the show. Somehow he still has more money than Fantasia though, with a net worth of $1 million. Third place we have Ruben Studdard. Probably the most notable things he's done in his career is have a sandwich named after him and lose like 250 pounds on The Biggest Loser, only to gain it all back. He's worth about $3 million. Second place we have Kelly Clarkson. She's had a really successful career with her talk show. Recently she lost like all the weight that she gained after the show. She's worth about $45 million. And finally, at number 1, we have Carrie Underwood, by far the most successful American Idol winner of all time. She has a ton of absolute bangers and a net worth of $140 million.
Florida schools are deploying armed drones to help with security, and people are questioning this one. The 30 to 90 weaponized drones sit in secure boxes around the school, ready to be activated whenever there's a security threat present. But they're all flown and operated by a team all the way in Austin, Texas, which are made up of drone racing pilots. Those pilots can operate drones going up to 100 miles per hour, allowing them to get across large campuses in seconds, scout hallways, feed information to law enforcement on the ground in Florida, or neutralize any threat while police are on their way. Many concerns have been raised, but 3 Florida schools will still be trialing the system this fall.
You know, it's so sad because nowhere else in the world do they need drones in their school. Only in America do you need to use drones and all kinds of different things to keep the kids safe in a school, which is crazy. You know, do even a little bit of homework. It's not happening anywhere else in the world. Only in America.
So meet Charlie Kirk. I would love to do a facial diagnosis and tell you who he is. Sadly, I have to tell you who he was. Just a horrific event that has occurred. And I think all of us, no matter where we stand, we're going to be affected by someone that has been killed in such a horrific way. This is a tough thing to read for me as a physician, but this is who Charlie Kirk was. There are 9 face shapes, and Charlie's a kind of a combination between a bucket face and a iron face. The faces that you are kind of a gift from your creator, but they come with a caveat. You must use that gift to kind of help mankind. We bucket faces, we love to put things in our bucket. We're intellectually persistent. We're thought leaders. We love the process of thinking. We're analytical. We're strategists. We're list makers. We never complete our list. He's also iron face, more of a squareness to his face. This is the 3 S's. He's strong, he's stable, he's stubborn. Give him a job, he's going to get it done. Persevere, diplomatic, take things to the end and things he's interested in. If he's not interested in it, to heck with it. He wants nothing to do with it. So there are these facial features. We always start with the eyes, and the right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona, and it's our mother's influence. The left is our true inner private self, and it's our father's influence. And again, this is more just a call. Whatever I sense, again, I wish I could put math to this. I can't. It's just kind of what I sense. So when I cover up his left eye and just look at his right eye, what I see is someone that's very focused and someone that's very caring. Conversely, when I cover up the right eye and just look at the left eye, there's just a hint of sadness there. What's that about? Is that about a male? I don't know. I think we're going to find a lot more about him as the days unfold and more people talk about him. Eyebrows are interesting. Very, very thick eyebrows. This sign is a very strong constitution. Eyebrows are about passion, pride, temperament. So again, very strong constitution. He was given a very, very strong body. They're also low set, which means he's very willing to help others and he's easily approachable. That was his energy. He was willing to talk to anybody and everyone and never with any anger. There's just no anger on his face. I find that intriguing. Most people, there's some liver indicator, some gallbladder indicator tells us some kind of liver involvement. Hairline, very narrow hairline. How you determine that is where the hair touches the eyebrows. Mine very, very far back. His touched eyebrows. This indicates strict upbringing. Probably had to conform to parental wishes. It's always a decision, do you want to conform or not to conform? My sense is he did conform to parental wishes. He's also got that kind of widow's peak. This is a sign of someone that's very traditional, very charismatic. And he certainly was that. I don't know much about him. I'm a generation removed from him, but his goal was to speak into the lives of younger people. And he did that in a way, went with his iron face. He did it with a great deal of passion and had a great purpose with what he did. Cheekbones, very high cheekbones. These are a sign of being high standards. Anything high in the face, just think high standards. Cheeks are rounded, which means he's very feelings oriented, sensitive. He's very big hearted, but also very confident. Cheeks are about confidence. And when you see these cheeks that he has, a very confident young man. Nose, very narrowness to his nose. This indicates kind of a narrowed outlook. These people tend to be very conservative with money, but conservative in general. And of course, he was to the conservative side of the fence, which offended a lot of people, actually. This nose also indicates that he valued ideals over things. He put great emphasis on things that he felt were very, very important. Chin is very strong. Chin's about being strong-willed, and he was very strong-willed. People with this chin, everything they do it with purpose. It's also rounded, which means there was a warmth and kindness when people have these round chins, as opposed to a square-off chin. They're very straightforward. Or somebody with a narrow chin, they're very, very sensitive. But he was very warm, kind, very generous, very intuitive, but also a strong sense of family. This indicates an extremely strong sense of family. Also very supportive kind of individual. So that is Charlie Kirk. And I'm sad for what has happened here.
Intuition test. Can you guess the forest animal on the back of this card? Close your eyes and take a breath. Go with what appears to you. Take your time. This one is challenging. Here we go. A fox.
Hey, I'm starting to feel a type of way now. I thought it was a grizzly bear. A brown grizzly bear. That's what I saw. Let me know what you got. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, smash that hype button. If you're not a part of the iTrack fam, subscribe right now. And, make sure you're good to yourself, man. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.